You remember the Amber Alert, where they break in for kidnapped kids. Now you hear it, it's Alzheimer ladies. Then it's, report illegal guns, report terror. I've seen it in Texas. Report illegal guns, report terror, a 1-800 number. You see, it's the tattletale society. Suddenly, every professional, lawyers, doctors, dentists, they're all getting Homeland Security visits saying, will you spy on your clientele? Will you spy on your neighbors? Last time we got numbers, it was close to 100,000 preachers secretly recruited since 2003 to spy on their flocks and give them messages of doing what the government says. I mean, this is a total military, scientific, long-term buildup to take America over. And notice we're coming up to the edge now, right as the economy implodes, right as the dollar's dying, right as they try to start all these new revolution wars and back up the Muslim extremist rebels in Egypt and Libya. And they admit Al-Qaeda's the good guy now in Libya fighting Gaddafi, but we got bin Laden. On and on and on and on and on and on. They're launching, they're launching, they're launching, they're launching. You can see it intellectually. You can study it geopolitically, and you can feel it in your gut. Now is the time to call the White House, call Congress, call Talk Radio to get our articles breaking this down and get it out to everyone. You have the power. We still have the web. But if they set off a dirty bomb or a small nuke or shoot up a bunch of shopping malls, they are going to do a test right when you're emotional and cut in all over radio and TV with government announcements. And then they'll claim, the government announcements evacuated an area where other terrorists were attacking shopping malls. It worked. Then the precedent's set. Then they hit you with a nuke. Then they mail out anthrax letters. That was confirmed to be government and the criminals that run it. America has been hijacked. The government is illegitimate. It controls both major parties at the top. They ship in the narcotics. We've got the biggest prison population. Meanwhile, the border is wide open. It's been confirmed that 87 miles into Arizona, the feds have said, don't drive down this highway. Don't go to this national park. It's totally shut down. The UN has openly put out plans to break off the Southwest to be an enclave of Mexico. And I take you now to Obama in South Texas calling for total legalization, New York Times, and this, the complete and total high treason, Reuters, reporting it like it's reasonable and no big deal. States say we don't want to have to fund abortion. We don't want to have to fund illegals. We don't want to ban guns. We don't want to restrict alternative currencies. Feds say no. We don't want to have our speed limit 55. Feds come in and try to block it, saying states have no power. A group of and I've interviewed some of them, La Reconquista Congress people, mayors, and others in Tucson are calling for the secession. This is Reuters. And when you actually read what they're saying, Reuters whitewashes it. The secession of half of Arizona into a Mexican enclave of Mexico. This isn't Mexico doing this. It's the globalist breaking America down. Liberals in southern Arizona seek to form new state. They are moving forward with the signed petitions for a referendum to secede from Arizona. But then we just say we want state sovereignty and not to be under federal international control. And they go, oh, my gosh, secession, they're violent. They want it. No, it's not secession, just 10th Amendment. Meanwhile, liberals in southern Arizona seek to form new state. There's been 13 killed on the Texas border, another shootout last night. Citizens being kidnapped at record numbers. I see it in the footnote every week in Austin, all the kidnappings. And they don't hype them up. It's just, somebody was kidnapped. And it's always, 98% of the time, it's illegal aliens kidnapping people. Here in Austin, where they're just kidnapping left and right. They'll just grab your kid off the street and hold him for ransom, just like it's Mexico. And it's just a little footnote in the paper or the news. Yeah, this little girl got kidnapped. Don't worry about it. I know if you're an Austinite or somebody who lives in Arizona or California, you see it too. It's like, we're not going to hype that up and tell you about a real threat. We're going to hype up the terrorists. They're going to get you any minute. We got to have no fly, no travel, no gun buy list. Oh, my gosh, give all your rights up. So the total takeover, the preparation of the rollout of government announcements breaking in over your phones, your computer, your TV, your radio, that's now in full swing. No travel list. Remember Obama saying that we need a domestic security force just as big and just as strong as our military, 1 million strong? And they now admit, what is that? His Secure Corps, his AmeriCorps division. All those different teams they've recruited. That's who Homeland Security is now recruiting to be these new domestic Stasi squads. And when Republicans come in, they're going to continue it. Let's play that clip of Obama during the campaign calling for the domestic security force. Go ahead and roll it.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
There you go. And it is. It's the threat fusion centers. It's the federalized police. It's the goon forces, many of which getting paychecks. It's the media takeover grids. And now it's the no travel system. Homeland Security admits when they're done with this, you won't get a job. You won't be able to drive your car. Nothing without their authorization. The whole country becoming a martial law prison. We'll break it down. Hi, this is Alex Jones. The real U.S. unemployment rate is now 22% and not 9% like what we are told by the mainstream media. The primary instinct of unemployed Americans is to go to college and seek a higher education. But all across America, students are graduating with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and no jobs. Most college graduates are now admitting that they would have been better off getting a job at Walmart or McDonald's than having their lives destroyed by student loans. Our friends at the National Inflation Association are getting ready to release College Conspiracy, the world's most comprehensive documentary ever produced about America's college education system. To be among the first to see College Conspiracy, sign up for the free NIA newsletter today at www.inflation.us. NIA believes that college education is the largest scam in American history. College Conspiracy will expose the facts and truth about the education system here in the U.S. Sign up for free today at inflation.us to be among the first to see College Conspiracy.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Do you want to learn more about preparing for the hard times ahead? Have you ever thought about actually getting off the grid and becoming truly self-reliant? Introducing Off the Grid News, a weekly newsletter for independent Americans who want practical advice on how to survive and even prosper in an increasingly dangerous world. It's the best way to get a black belt in emergency preparedness, survival skills, and off-the-grid living. Packed with hard-hitting information on gardening, food preparation, alternative energy, and home security, there's simply nothing like it. And the best part, this $100 annual subscription is now free of charge. Simply sign up today and you'll also get our hard-hitting report, Food Shock, Why 2011 Could Be the Single Most Important Year in American History to Plant a Family Garden. It's absolutely free for listeners who sign up at offthegridnews.net. That's offthegridnews.net. Get your free Food Shock right now at offthegridnews.net.
All right, I want to be clear about this. The globalists have positioned us for bankruptcy into this new Bancorp, IMF, World Bank digital currency receivership. But they've done it through fraud. They're criminals. The whole world's waking up to them. They need a police state, as the IMF and World Bank documents leaked in 2002 show, when they take over any country. They need a police state grid in place, or the people will take the government back and in many cases prosecute the government criminals that were bought off by the offshore crime syndicate. And so now they're coming in with their total media takeover. They're testing it. But nothing is more draconian than the internal passport. Remember 4 years ago, we have links to his speeches and articles about it in our articles that break it down. In Paul Watson and Steve Watson, as well as Kurt Nimmo's articles. We have the links to Ron Paul and his quotes going, this national ID card is a domestic passport. an internal passport, because the Fed said, if your state doesn't accept it, we won't accept it for Social Security, or we won't accept it for you to get on a plane. We won't accept it for you to go to a national park or to the Statue of Liberty. Your kids will have to have this to go to the Statue of Liberty. It's a domestic system, and we've reported for now a year that in key unions where the globalists have control, they make you go through a criminal terror database search to get a job. Remember 2 weeks ago? 9/11 first responders, cops, firemen, medical people have to go through a terror database to get their health care. Everywhere they can, forcing you, oh, this is a federal special health care program. You've got to go through a terror database. That's to beta test it for everybody. And that's what Obama's talking about with his domestic security force. And they're also saying you get on this list, millions are on it. They admit political enemies are on it. You can't get off. You can't find out why you're on it. Now you can't buy a gun. No judge, no jury, no gun. Now you can't have a job. Now you can't get on trains. And now they're talking about, and states already have this, Texas does, license plate reading systems that know when your insurance is up. You're in a database. So the cops pull you over. And now they're saying if you're on a terror database, why aren't you picked up then? Well, because you're actually just a pro-Second Amendment or a liberal group, whatever. Now the cops pull you over because you're on a no-drive list. And then they've said they're planning this. You won't be able to leave your house. Just like in Nazi Germany where they first said you can't do business. You can't leave your neighborhood. And it's funny that it's all these Israeli operatives like Chuck Schumer and Rahm Emanuel are the ones pushing this. They want us to live like Arabs do in Israel. And they admit that's the plan. But therefore, Israelis having M16s in Israel, just Americans can't have our guns. I'm sick of it. But there's other groups pushing this as well. But I'm calling these people out. Let's go ahead and play Obama again with his domestic security force.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
Now, we're not going to really have time to play the whole thing, but in our articles, we have Rahm Emanuel saying, if you're on a no-fly list, you can't buy a gun, you're not part of America. Here it is. All right, we got to set up a different computer system then, because when we got one, then we got to cue the other, and then we're not going to be able to play it. So here it is.
Make this a #1 issue as a test vote and then take it into the election. That is, if you are on the no-fly list because you are known as maybe a possible terrorist, you cannot buy a handgun in America.
You can be in the country, but just you can't have a gun.
And I am not one far from liking the mixing of politics and policy, but as my old boss used to say, give me that vote and throw me into that briar patch. I'll make politics out of that every day, because if it's between that terrorist list and the NRA, I know where America is going to be every time, and they're going to make the right choice, and we have got to start building on that. That is the right thing to take into the election, and it's the right policy. If you're on that no-fly list, your access to the right to bear arms is canceled because you're not part of the American family.
All right, we'll be right back. So the government, the bureaucrats, they just put you on a list, no travel, no guns, no job, no food.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.